I messed up the streaming key. Now I got double instances of streams. I had to close one. Pro streamer over here. What's up, everybody? We'll get started in a sec. Lots of Sebastians in the chat. Karen's here. Joey's here. If you want me to look at anything, just let me know. Sully on Twitter. Zelva on Twitter. What else we got? FBTD is here. Mustafa Nwanda. Nwanda's ready to just drip out some alpha for us. He's my homework. He or she gives me all of the alpha. They may have been, I don't know if this is true, they may have been the first person to mention Rivian to me probably over a year ago at this point. Gold is the only thing of value, says Luke. Fair enough. I mean, that's fine with me right now. Gold's going up. Cathal asking me, do I think memes like Pepe and Whiffle still have a huge upside in Q4? I'll get to it, but if you're bullish here, you have to believe in continuation of the cycle, obviously. You have to believe in bullishness towards the end of the year for any reason whatsoever. But I don't think September is going to be a great month. It just usually isn't. That's all. That's all. You know, we can say it's crowded. We can say it's consensus. We can say seasonality is stupid. You can say whatever you want. But as somebody who's lived through several Septembers for the past 10 years, just not a good month. Just not a good month. Even if it closes green, like intra-month, most of the time, just not fun. So here we are. What's up, Ray? Check CopX. Yeah, I mean, the gold's doing well. A lot of the precious metals are doing well. So we'll take a look. But as far as what's coming up here, we got a Fed meeting on the 17th, effectively pricing in 100% odds of a cut. The jobs data we got today and the rest of the week with JOLTS unemployment rate tomorrow doesn't look good so far. Now what's going to be really funny is if you recall, the last unemployment rate, there was a huge downward revision. Trump sacked the guy, replaced him with a new guy. so this time, are the numbers real? Do we get numbers that are inflated? Do the numbers, is whoever got hired with that role, are they going to take it seriously enough to print a bad number? We don't know anymore, People loved to hate on the numbers when Biden was in. They kept saying they're fake, they're fake, they're fake. Just something interesting to think about. The the data behind the number, you know. Joey, I'm sure, has an opinion there, but but that's coming tomorrow. I can't imagine this is gonna, you know, if unless unemployment rate's at like 4% versus 4.3 or something. I don't know. I don't even know what the whisper number is. The jobs market doesn't look good. We'll put it like that. I also think because of immigration, the numbers we're seeing are just hard to standardize based on what we have seen because there's just less people in the labor force. So anyway, probably see a cut on the 17th. Markets have certainly been pricing that in since Jackson Hole. Gold has certainly been pricing that in since Jackson Hole. This is the BTC price performance since the low when FTX blew up. If we look at the previous two cycles, those cycles have lasted around 1,060, 1,050 days. We're on day 1,017. Now, I don't think it's necessarily correct to just assume this time is different and we won't see a 4-year cycle. If into 2026 we are still making highs by day 1,100, by day 1,200, then I think it's fair to say, yeah, the 4-year cycle probably a little less likely to play out as expected in a good way. I just don't think you can sit here today and say, oh, it's for sure over. It's for sure different this time. It is clearly different. It's a different environment, but it doesn't mean the cycles are over. We know rate cuts are coming eventually. We know stimmies are probably coming. That may continue to push this into 2026. We know liquidity is going to infinity. We can see gold moving up. So there are catalysts to push this higher past the expected 4-year cycle time beyond Q4. I just think you take this one quarter at a time. I mean, if we get a parabolic blow off top in Q4, then do you really expect more continuation? I think it's going to be tough. So we'll see, but I'm living my life one quarter at a time here. One quarter at a time. Can you go over to large? Yeah, we can talk about COT data. A lot of questions. Oh, so Nawanda says he doesn't take credit for Rivian. It might have been, I forget the other guy's name. He always asks me about EVs. Somebody was giving me credit for discovering the Rivian chart, and I can't take credit for that. That's why we do these streams, to talk about random stuff that's just not in my wheelhouse. So somebody gave me that idea, I don't know, months ago at this point. Anyway, so cycle stuff, I'd be very careful with anybody telling you the cycle's for sure over or the cycle's for sure going to extend. We don't know. We don't know. It is different this time. And I think you just expect status quo, which is bearishness past January, past December, and take it from there. And if that's wrong, that's wrong. But, if we see a parabolic move in Q4, then it's pretty easy, I think, to assume that's a good time to unload, to sell, to crack the cold storage, get out the flamethrower. Tefra Digital, don't know who these guys are, but they put out this tweet yesterday. I thought it was really good. Thousands of people have talked about this, so it's not like a new idea, but you've got M2 and Bitcoin. We all know that is pretty correlated on whatever day lag you want. This implies a Bitcoin price of, I think they say 167K. So if there's anything we can point to that say is the 4-year cycle over, it would be stuff like this, where we still have some gas left in the tank. And it would also be gold, which continues to push higher. Gold spent several months doing nothing, consolidating, finally breaking out. And if you map this out with a 200-day lag as they have, again, you get sort of the same thing. Gold and BTC never typically move together. So if I had to point to anything that says this time will be different, there will be continuation beyond the end of the year, higher, it would be stuff like this. I don't care about treasury companies. ETF flows are ETF flows. But you're going to need something like this. So if you believe in alts, if you believe in BTC, you need to see stuff like this continue. Who knows if it's going to be correct? But this is what I would point to and say, look, we still got time. You also have to believe in stablecoins. These continue to print. We had a 2 billion print today out of Tether. USDC looks like it's trying to go parabolic on circulating supply. No matter what this is for, eventually it works its way into the pipes of the crypto ecosystem. USDC more so on the DeFi side, Tether more so on the IRL transactional side. But either way, it is not bearish to see stablecoins continuing to print. This is just another form of liquidity expressed in stablecoins. It's going to be interesting to see, does the circulating supply come down after rates go down? Or does it go way up? I don't know. Just something to think about that may affect this. You've got like the whole yield side of the equation. You've got speculative side of the equation. But this isn't bearish. At least it shouldn't be. If anything, it's a huge bullish divergence against price because price keeps going down. So that looks really good. If we look at the ETF flows, this is probably harder to see on stream, but 30-day rolling cumulative change on ETF flows for BTC is still flat here. We basically have zeroed out. That's for BTC. ETH, it's obviously different. And we've seen the price appreciation there. For gold, it has turned solidly positive again for the ETF flows. So that makes sense. You know, again, these don't move together. Typically, you see flows concentrated into certain pockets, whether it's BTC versus ETH or gold versus BTC. And that's okay. You know, so if you're fretting about the price action here, welcome to September, boys and girls. Welcome to September. Yeah, thanks for posting that tweet, Joey. Let me catch up with chat. Zelva says it feels bottom-ish. I mean, if you're holding MSTR, you gotta hope so. Not that Zelva is, but oh boy, MSTR has just continued to roll over. Doesn't look good. Weather is nice though. Yeah, I'm not one of these like people who say, "Oh man, it's so nice out today." I would never say that, but you're right. The weather is very nice. Definitely time to not be in front of a computer. INVE. I don't know what that one is. Just a few from memory from previous streams. Upstart, Upwork. I don't know what these companies are, but they've been looking okay. Everything is fake. Unless survey response go up, it's hard to put many. Yeah, so Jamie's right. The unemployment numbers are based on the surveys, which people have been not responding to. And so when we get data that is lagging or just not there, you kind of have to guess. And then when you get the eventual data, then you get the revisions, right? I don't think we see a 50 in September. Olma? What is that? See, this is how it starts. This is the ideation stage where people just throw stuff at me. 99% of it is junk, and then one of them is Rivian, right? Retail's broken, uninterested. I agree with you there. Inflation is high, QT is still going. Yeah. It's a muted cycle for alts. BTC has done fine. You know, BTC has gone from 15 to 120. Like, how's that? That's not bad. I'll take that. That's great. Zelva's putting his name on the line here. 150K in October, then a 1-year bear market. Get it on poly market, Zelva. We'll bet on it. Why would BTC fall if stocks rip? If the economy falls apart and we do go into recession, which I don't think is going to happen, but if that's the case, stocks wouldn't rip higher. They'd probably turn down. I just don't think even if stocks turn down, even if the economy turns down, this administration, of any administration that has ever existed on the government side, will do anything they can, throw anything at everything to make sure we don't have a recession. There will always be cycles. I agree. Yeah, Matic. We'll take a look at some alts, but Matic, AVAX, Aave, Sol. I think there was one more that looked pretty good. No small weather talk for me. No, sir. REMX. Yep. That's pulled back a little bit. I mean, everything's down today. Junk pump. Yeah, I don't know. The pump stuff, I don't know. It's just, maybe I'm too old. It's just not for me. But then again, I never really dabbled a lot in alts ever. SNES, another crypto share, still drained a BTC, even though. Yeah, those exchange flows charts, I kind of just stopped caring because a lot of that tends to be just unlabeled or mislabeled. If BTC is going from the retail wallets to an institutional wallet and it's custody versus hot, is that still count? Is there a signal there? I don't know. BTC is in dormant mode. Coin doesn't look bad. Oh man, I'm on the other side of that one. I think COP looks atrocious. Wayne, are you the guy who was screaming about Aave last stream? I just have a feeling that you were that same person. TIGR. All right, let's get some of these going here. KLV. It's good that we have a lot of requests because not much going on the crypto side. Let's be honest here. Peloton. Yeah, it's the same thing with Rivian. For me, I don't care what other people do with their money. Of course, that's you, Wayne. Of course, I don't care what other people do with their money, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you've got a multi-year chart that has consolidated, you have to give it time. You have to give it time. Do you know the gold people? Let's just go to GLD. The gold people literally waited a decade. Do you know how many people died holding gold, waiting for that breakout? Now, to be fair to gold, it moves very slowly. But gold consolidated for 4,600 days since 2011, before the breakout. So if you've been in consolidation mode for that period of time, you have to really give it a minute, So that means maybe you size it down a little bit. Maybe you don't go on 100x leverage, and maybe you just add as you get more confident. But you're going to see plus or minus 15%, probably. Who knows? Not only that, not only did they wait 4,000 days, almost 5,000 days for this breakout, down here, this was also another brutal 2,000-day consolidation after the pullback. Like, just nothing, And then they waited here. So yeah, we all know gold moves very slow. But if your dopamine is fried from trading crypto, go look at the gold chart. See how that behaves. I still think this is fine. No, I don't know a single reason that anyone would be bearish gold. Again, you can say it's consensus. You can say it's crowded. I don't care. It's been correct. So whatever. I'm just here for the technicals. I could care less about the fundamentals. The fundamentals help. Gold still looks good. UGL looks good. GDX, I think, is a little parabolic. This is miners. Silver's done well, but it's been very, very volatile. So I don't know. I don't really have a dog in the fight. It just is what it is. If you're bullish gold, I would treat everything else down the stack as leveraged gold. Silver's just leveraged gold. So if you like gold, maybe you like a little silver. I don't know. WPM has been an excellent mining company. This is a I forget his name. Haven't seen him in a minute, but again, not my idea. Somebody in the stream called it out. Copper, CopX, trying to break out. So I don't know. For most of these precious metal plays, it's like too slow for crypto people. Like they just don't care. You know, gold, the breakout, you're probably going to see another 10% maybe. You could get that on a day in anything else. In pump, right? So who cares? But it's for days like today when gold is either down less or up a little bit more over the past couple days that it makes a little more sense. Platinum and palladium pulling back a little bit. REMX pulling back a little bit. Commodities in general are just very, very volatile. Especially if you've traded them, you know this because you see how crazy this stuff goes up and down. I think REMX still looks fine. You can watch it on the daily fractals. Anything below 56, we'll just put an alert there for myself. Anything below 56, probably not going to have a good time. But I don't know, this is still up 30% for my entry, so I'm fine with it. The uranium stuff has also maybe looked a little bit better. I don't think the case for a breakout is there on anything like it was for gold. So uranium, this is how you want the coin chart to look, by the way. We'll take a look at the coin chart in a second. Coin chart does not look like this. The coin chart is at like a $32 equivalent on this uranium chart. You don't want this to be a head and shoulders or whatever, you know. Still looks fine. Is there an entry here? I don't know. Is it a great trade setup? Not really, right? So it's like you can be bullish, but also at the same time just not really see anything. This chart looks worse to me. Nuclear Renaissance, kind of head and shoulders, inverse cup and handily. Uranium miners look excellent to me. I saw somebody calling out CCJ on Twitter about their uranium miner. They were calling them out on some fundamental reason for over mining or something. I can't remember the details, but it's just funny because to me the technicals look great for this ETF. NNE has pulled back a lot, never really continued. Oklo also just kind of doing a bunch of nothing. So really it's been gold. This was another one that somebody pointed out on the stream. MIN, it's Australian. Nice tight consolidation up there. I'd like an alert for slightly higher, but yeah, a lot of this stuff's going to be super volatile. Gold's going to be the least volatile. That's just the way it is. Okay, for the crypto stuff, BTC. Buy, sell, or hold. What does chat think here? I don't see anything. That's the problem. We're not above the cloud, so we're neutral. Bearish TK cross. We're going to get a bearish cloud here. This doesn't have to go anywhere up or down. It's just it's times like this that make you appreciate the trending nature of this asset. Most of the time in the bullish rally periods, we trend pretty hard. So this is not a trend. This is just chop. This is nothing. We might get an inverted head and shoulders here on lower time frames. Anything above 112.5, you know, sure. This is nothing. This is just absolutely nothing. So if you've got the confidence to size up on this, God bless you. God bless you, everyone, but I do not. I do not. I'm killing the mood. What did you think I was going to say, Chuck Norris? What did you think I was going to say? I mean, I have like 4 specific rules for anything. Does this look good under those conditions? No. It's awful. It's not bearish necessarily, but like, what do you do with this? There's nothing to do. There's just nothing to do. Exactly. Touch grass until it's above the daily. Just nothing to do. So yeah, like you can play around on the 4 hour, on lower time frames, and find something. And I don't know. I don't have any confidence in VTC here. That's all. There are times when we have great setups, when we have great breakouts. That to me is a high leverage period where you put your foot on the gas. You know, back here, this consolidation, this breakout, above the cloud, back here, back above the cloud here, this failed. Back above the cloud here, this failed. Then we consolidated, right? So there are times to take a shot, to shoot your shot. I do not see this as a time to shoot your shot, personally. That's just me. Bids at 102, go to the beach. Don't hate it. I don't hate it. ETH, if you've been watching the flows on the ETFs over the past couple days, BTC's been positive to the tune of 300 million. ETH has been negative in the 100 million range. But the flows have definitely slowed down on the ETH side. So I would just say that's expected. We had I don't know, 7 billion come in. Just look at the validator queue on another screen. Validator queue entry exits about even. That is, it's starting to come down on the exit side. I just want to see this clear. I don't care that there's entry. It's the exit part that worries me. And clearly, if people were bullish about the entry queue, price would be going higher. But we're just kind of stagnating here. So best case is this is neutral based on the entry and exit queue. Worst case is it's bearish. But, you know, I think the general expectation is if it's even, there's money coming in, there's money coming out. Fine, it should be neutral. But I'd want to see this clear. My expectation is once this does clear in, I don't know, late September, ETH may start to do better. But what is this here? What is this? The train left the station and it's in Albuquerque. I'm not in Albuquerque, I'm somewhere else. So it's already gone. It's already gone. If you're long here, you have to believe in the 2x potential. If you're not long here, you want a lower price. You want 37, 36 based on the cloud. That's it. So I don't see a setup here. I don't like how this looks. I don't like how it's losing levels, potentially losing fractals again, losing the Tenkin. I don't know. Flows aren't there. Just doesn't look good. When is retail coming? I don't know. When they get the stimmies, maybe. They're busy trading Pokemon cards, bro. JPM gave up spoofing gold. Ever since Costco started to sell gold, it's been up only, right? Yeah, Bitcoin Magazine Pro did a video on the stablecoin liquidity stuff today. So that's a good watch, should you be curious. PAX G is just gold, so if you're bullish gold, you're bullish PAX G. All right, so that's BTC, that's ETH. Sol has done sort of better, but like, I say this about MSTR, I'll say this about anything that you expect to have ridiculous upside. If we go back to this, like this is why you're here to trade Sol. Obviously. October to March 2023, 2024. Does this look like one of those periods? If yes, then you love Sol here. This has been horrific up-down chop for months. So, like, is it bullish? It's more bullish than bearish. Does it look like it's got breakout potential and continuation potential? Not really. It has, every momentum push has been faded over and over and over. So, I don't know, right? It's tough because you expect this thing to have tons of momentum. And if it doesn't, people are just doing something else. So I don't see anything there. And if we just like skip the list and go to some standouts, so I don't get yelled at about Aave, it looks better than most, but still like Sol, just horrific up-down chop. ARB tried to break out, failed. AVAX still looks decent to me. It continues to try to break out. It's had horrific up-down chop still as well. The rest of these below supports for now. Where's the other? Is it Flow? Matic, somebody mentioned somewhere on this list. Matic tried to break out. Might be a trade, right? Like, if you've been watching me for any period of time, you know that when I use words like that, phraseology like that, it is not something that is, presenting itself as a trade to me. Hope not to wait a decade for Rivian for a breakout. I don't think you'll have to wait a decade. I think by the end of the year, a lot of these charts that have been consolidating for a long time should start to see something. TIA airdrops, yeah, good luck with that. So that's crypto. I don't see anything anywhere. Doge, Pepe, Shib, Bonk, Whiff, Floki, all this stuff just continues to bleed day after day after day. Now you could just put a diagonal on any of these charts. Let's just go to the Doge chart. Put a diagonal on the chart, set an alert for that diagonal, and do something else with your life. Trade something else. Don't even look at the chart. It feels like we're in that kind of environment. For Wayne, let's look at this pump crap. It's pumping, bro. It's pumping. So here's how I would want to trade this. I would want to trade this as a massive W. And hey, it may move out of sync with the rest of the market randomly. Fartcoin certainly did. So if you're bullish pump, then you're going to love this setup. I have zero faith that this will actually play out, so I will not be playing that setup, but sure, why not? Why not? I think I did see an uptick in revenue on pump over the past day, but I could be wrong. Buybacks are happening. Launchpad is happening. Revenue is happening. Sure, right? Like it's potentially a W. Fine. I would just rather trade something else. That's just me. That's just me. Yeah, Doge we looked at. I don't see anything there. Anything that looks like curve where it has falling wedge potential. Anything that looks like this where you get this parabolic puke. The best play is to just wait for this to break resistance. That's, my non-professional, non-financial advice. If it doesn't break resistance, that's fine. You're not in the trade anyway, right? So like, who cares? Let it die. It's the problem is if people are holding on to this stuff, expecting a move today, expecting a move in the next month. I don't know. Because I got nothing. Could be a giant ascending triangle. Tons of charts that look like this. Could be. Is an entry bought and exit? Not sure we're talking about Lord Viper. Sol next season. 3.7 on ETH, 100K. You know, your buy and hold levels depend on your cost basis for whatever you're still holding. So like some people would say, I'm not buying anything up here in my cold storage stack because my cost basis is below 20,000. Some people would say that. They'd say this is expensive. I'm going to wait until we are closer to the 200-week moving average at 52,000 to buy. They're going to say this price differential is too much. So what they're waiting for is a bear market, right? That's a different conversation. On the trading side, we just look at the daily cloud. You know, in this house, we believe in the daily cloud. So I don't hate buying the bottom of the cloud, but have a plan if you get punched in the face and it keeps going, you know? But in a bear market, you want to get as close to the 200-week as possible. And you'll see, you know, maybe this bear market's going to be different, right? As many people have suggested, and we won't get that deep. 2015 we did, double tapped. 2018 we did, double tapped. COVID, we got there. 2022 we got there and stayed there for a bit. We were even at the 200 before the ETFs were officially official. So you had like almost a year to be buying down here. That to me is a better value level for cold storage. Up here, this is just trading territory for me. But if you're in like the multi-decade plan, what do you care? Buy every $10,000 down. Buy every month. What does it matter? Pump is the play, says one guy in chat. Thank you, Atia. All right, let's get to the list here. Somebody's gonna ask about MSTR, so we'll take a look. Not great. Not great. Just not great. The reason I like the cloud is because it works. You have better chances of bullish continuation when you're above the cloud. We are below the cloud here. It's just not, it's not in a place where I care about it. Even if it's oversold, even if sentiment is awful, even if they get included in the S&P, I just don't care. It is not in a technical spot that I like. If we want to talk about trades I should have taken but didn't, it was a little bit of an earnings play, but the main point here is something like American Eagle. It stayed above the cloud for like a month. It was above the cloud for a month after being down only for over a year. Shame on me. We even looked at it. We talked about it. I didn't pull the trigger. It was even on my watch list. And it was one of the reasons why I was still so bullish on ETH. When we were down here at 2,500, that's always what you want to see. Just stay above the cloud. Stay above the cloud as long as you can. Opportunities arise. Opportunities figure themselves out. MSTR tried to do that, and it just didn't. It couldn't continue. It couldn't continue. But you're going to find, on balance, on net, more successes randomly occur above the cloud. So it's going to be hard where this sits currently for MSTR to just randomly do well. No, I'm not. Renji's asking would I trade the edge to edge on MSTR. You always can. You can try to trade this stuff on any time frame. As long as the setup is there. Sure, like you can try it, but it's not why I trade MSTR. I don't care about 340 to 408. I could care less. I'm here to trade it from 420 to 800. That's what I really care about. I don't want to miss that. But this like range chop, whatever. I don't care. I'd rather be late and just wait. You know, I was late. You can watch the videos. We talked about it in 2024. I didn't touch MSTR up until August, September. Back here is when I started playing around with MSTR. I think I was adding here. I took some off somewhere up here. Whatever. You know, it's okay to be late. It's okay to have confirmation. You don't have to try to be a hero. So I'm not. So that's MSTR. SBET, BMNR, a lot of people asking. These treasury companies are kind of getting slaughtered today on the NASDAQ news, non-news, that they're going to be looking at this stuff under more scrutiny. Sure, whatever that means. Either way, low time frames, this looks bearish. BMNR, get Tommy Lee on the horn. Get him on Rogan, quick. Get him on Rogan. This looks horrific. Horrific. Not bullish. So that's not good if you're long that stuff. All right, let's get to the list because it's a list. It's a list. INVE. This cannot be the chart, is it? Maybe it is. Low liquidity, kind of Adam Evie. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Well, that one's in my head. That's a body cam company for police. UPST? Upstart. Yeah, this was one of the ones like Upstart, Upwork. I don't know why these companies are all up something, but I like it a little bit better, higher personally, but the setup is at least there. You can't say that for ETH. You can't say that for BTC. You can't say that for many alts that have already broken out. So at least there's something to like watch and wait for, just like the GLD trade. You could have watched paint dry alongside watching this setup, right? Like it took a very long time, and you shouldn't miss it because it's so slow. But crypto, most charts right now just kind of drooping. Upwork was the other one. This one had a huge bottomy, you know, I like it here. I like it today. I don't know what this company is, but it reminds me a lot of KWeb. How's KWeb doing? KWeb trying to break out. I don't hate it. The longer it's above the cloud, the better. CQQQ, I think, also pulled back a little bit. Again, I don't hate that either. Now's the time. If there was ever a time for this thing to try to continue, it would be at resistance. So as a trend trader, that's my expectation. The range traders would tell you, you got to sell this all today, buy puts, it's going back down to 30, bro. Which is possible. But I'm not here to trade this from 50 to 30. I'm here to trade this from 50 to 100. That's me. Olma. Pharmaceuticals, okay. Yeah, a lot of the biotech stuff is trying to bottom, regardless of like what they're doing, what they're studying, what their industry is focused on, right? Like that stuff matters a lot less to me based on what I'm seeing collectively. I have no idea what this company's doing, but you're starting to see these breakouts because biotech got hammered on rates being higher for longer for so long. And now as rate expectations are coming down, some of this stuff is starting to do better. XBI is the biotech ETF. That has done very well. LabU, the leveraged biotech ETF. That's starting to do well. So it makes sense that that stuff has pulled up a lot. Junk. Junk? Can't be a ticker. Yeah, Michael, we looked at BTC at the open. If you just rewind the stream a little bit, you'll see it. But I don't have anything constructive to say. We're in the cloud. That's it. We talked about cycles. We talked about liquidity. One thing I didn't hit on was the COT data. If you search my channel for, what is it? I think if you just type in commercials, the video will pop up. I did a whole video on how to add this to TradingView. For the positioning data, which is what this is for futures, you want commercials, this red bar, to be very long. You want large speculators, the blue bars, to be short. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter who they are. It just matters how they are qualified as in the CME system. Commercials are usually correct. Large speculators are usually wrong. So you want to be on the side of the correct entities, right? Yellow is retail. It's everybody in the stream, usually wrong. So you do not want them long. You want them short, which rarely happens in crypto. So for BTC, this positioning overview in general is just neutral. Commercials are barely net long. Large speculators are barely net short. Retail is basically flat. So for BTC, it's less of an issue. If you look at ETH is a textbook bearish positioning because you have large speculators who are max long, commercials who are max short, and retail is also in the mix here, decently long. Again, it does not matter who they are or what they are doing. It matters more on the backtesting. What have we seen historically using this data on anything, using COD data for any industry, any asset, to the history of time? Most of it, when you see positioning like this, is not bullish. So this is a significant headwind for ETH, period. Not good if you're bullish ETH up here. Now for ETH, you don't have a lot of data, right? But we do know when price has gone up, like in 23 to 2024, we did have commercials long for most of that. And on the way down, 2025, we had commercials short for most of that. So even just on this like micro level, it does seem to hold up. So I can't look at the backtesting. I can't look at the individual data and say, man, this looks so bullish. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. These people have to be wrong. They have to close. It's basically a long squeeze, right? People have to be wrong here. Reset this positioning, and then I think it's fair to get more bullish. But that's a yikes on how that looks for ETH. All right, let's take a look at some of these others. SNES. Man, that is like a forever downtrend, isn't it? Cloud just told you no for years. No, 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 no since 2019, and it's finally trying to bottom. I mean, hey, it's better now than any time in the past 5 years. I'll give you that. So it IPO'd back here, 2016. It's been, I'm curious what this even is. Almost down 100%, right? Almost. That's too funny. That's crazy. What is this company? Is it like cannabis or something? Biotech, life sciences, fertility management of pest control. Okay. Interesting. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. Do you ever find yourself getting like a gut tingling pointing to you to be bullish or bearish? Yeah, it's mainly based on what the cloud tells me. That's my gut. My gut is the cloud. COP, ConocoPhillips. What a mess. It's like that Solana chart. I mean, it's more bullish than bearish, but it's just been... I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other on that one. TIGR. Yeah, I mean, doesn't look terrible. It's trying to curl up here. You have to be careful of the rising wedge stuff. Chat's going to tell me rising wedges are bullish, so send it. Send it. It definitely had a huge, I'm guessing this is Chinese, right? Had a huge, like, inverted head and shoulders down here that broke up from. Is this one of those, like, investment club things? It's like a soft Ponzi. It looks like it might be. Weibo. There you go. There's a little breakout attempt there. I think this is also Chinese, right? It's trying. I would prefer to just play KWeb and CQQQ. That's just me. But if you're comfortable enough with the individual names, those don't look bad. Forces Metals. This was a no from me, dog. Too much chop. Too much chop. KALV. Another pharma company. It's trying. It's been choppy, but it does have kind of like this stuff going. Trying. It's trying. Again, like the KWeb, KWeb versus individual names or CQQQ. I don't know if I feel comfortable enough to say, man, let me get this bag of Calv versus just playing the ETF. Like WGMI, I mean, we talk about this all the time. If you've got intimate knowledge of the industry and the companies, I think you can definitely do better than the basket. Ideally, right? You're there, you know what's going on. So maybe you're going to do better than WGMI, which is the group of everything. Maybe you can pick 5 versus 10 and say, okay, these 5 are going to do better than the group. So I would just be careful in the individual names of stuff like that. CLBT. Yeah, we looked at it last week and the week before, I think. Still a bit early. IMHO. Still a bit early on that one. Peloton. Someone was asking about fibs on Peloton. Fibs on Peloton. So my fibs are, if I go into the right menu, at the very bottom here, if you can see this, fib levels based on log scale. That's what I have on. Is it correct? I don't know. That's just what I like. That's just what I like. I also have log scale on all the time. So I hope that solves your question about log stuff. But like, if there was ever a time for PayPal, it would be soonish. It's getting a weekly breakout here on the cloud for the first time kind of ever, but since 2020. We all know what this company is, I think, the bicycle exercise company. Subscription service. I just like the chart. I like the chart. But yeah, these are the fibs I would use. And, this is just like pie in the sky stuff. Who knows? Who knows which levels are hit? The first level you always want tested in any downtrend ever in the history of time on every chart you're ever going to see for the rest of your life, forever, is the 50% retracement. So 22 would be the level. That's the first level. After that, it's probably better to apply different fibs. But if we look at stuff that's worked, like Hood, 50% on Hood was 24. So you can see it got to 24, stalled for a good amount of time, and then kept going. It's not always going to be this clean. But at the very least, you should expect this stuff to get to the 50% level. Rivian's the same. Down infinity. The 50% level in this case is basically the measured move of this minor consolidation. But and any chart you ever see, it's always going to be the same, 50%. So that's 38. On the Rivian side, Figs, it is, what is it on Figs? It is 1350. So yeah, you always want 50% levels. Bitcoin has a bid that is separate from alts. Sure, but it's September, bro. Does this feel bullish to you, Chuck Norris? Look me straight in the eyes, and you tell me that this feels bullish to you. Is this why you're here? We literally tapped all-time high, and we have faded every single high since that high, continuously. Just faded it. That's been since August 13th. We failed to hold a higher high since August 13th. Not bullish. I'm not disparaging you. I'm just saying this is not bullish price action. Someone was asking about UPEX. I was trying to read. Somebody threw a bunch of... Ray's got a bunch of tickers for me. We'll take a look. Then I got to get out of here in 5 minutes. UPEXy. Yeah, this is the Solana one, right? I got nothing. It's not setting up on low time frames, high time frames. It just looks like chop. I think you can look at all these charts independently, and they have some levels to think about. In this case, 8, 9. I don't see any setups at all. Figs, Rivian, Peloton, these are all like multi-month ideas. I've been holding Rivian for, I don't know, God knows how long. So yeah, I don't care about a random plus or minus 15% week. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to trade this in case this goes to 30, in case this goes to 18, right? That's all. It's going to look different shades of bullish or bearish. PayPal's a good example. This one looked really, really good in mid-2024 and then gave it all back and is back in the range. That's what you don't want. You don't want this to randomly break up in Rivian and Peloton's case and then make a lower low. No, you do not want that. So this idea never actually came to fruition, but it tried. So on the bulletin board, you put this on there and you say, this is what I will not hold through Figs and Rivian. And you got to give it wide berth here because this is a huge range. So whatever your pain tolerance is what you tolerate, right? All right, let's go through this list that Ray gave me real quick. DocuSign, a little bit of a falling wedge there, right? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, looks okay. Nobody asked me about NVIDIA. Nobody asked me about, I guess Joey asked me about Google. This is in no man's land, NVIDIA. Nothing, zero. I got nothing for you. Not that anybody asked, but thanks for playing NVIDIA. Google, hey, what can we do here with Google? I guess you could say failed Head and Shoulders right? Because we had this here, and it never materialized. 260, 300. CRM, Salesforce, still has the head and shoulders, right? This is kind of like tech giant fractal that's been setting up for a couple of years. This looks very bearish. So Google got lucky. Google got away with one in that it canceled out its head and shoulders. TEM, yeah, I'm holding a little TEM, little Nancy special. Yeah, I like it. It's at highs, or wait, it's not at highs. It's at resistance. I like it. You slap a stop loss somewhere in the middle of the range and you call it a day, and you say, you know what, if this goes to 140, I've got some on the table. I'm going to be adding at 88. Add with the rest of the momentum, and that's it. But yeah, I don't hate it. Meta. So Meta, I had thought, now a lot of these charts had a setup that just didn't happen. Galaxy's one, Oklo's one. It still could play out, but it's tough to like sit in this and expect continuation. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look worse than the others I mentioned, but nobody asked me about Palantir either. How's Palantir doing? Yeah, kind of hit its level and chilled out. Hood we looked at briefly, but that was another one. I can't get bullish at the target. So you either trade the target before the breakout, during the breakout, but not at the breakout. That's all. All right. HAFN. Yeah, I think you probably asked me about this one last stream. Somebody did, clearly, because we drew it all up. But looks great. Love it. Broke out. Back to the neckline. This is a shipping company, right? I think. American Express. Little cup and handle action on that one. He's coming in here. He's coming behind enemy lines, this Ray guy. He's asking a crypto streamer to talk about American Express. Unbelievable, dude. It does look good. It does look very good. You know? Cup and handle all day. Like the level's insane, but that's technical analysis for you. I mean, it looks very good. See, Ray's the Nuanda of this stream. He brought the alpha today. BAC. He also knows what I like, clearly, because all these charts are better than anything in crypto land. This is another inverted head and shoulders type. All right. I think a lot of if you just go to XLF looks very good too. So there's always a trade somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. Always a trade somewhere. Tau, I don't see anything. Don't even come at me with that. Tau, please. Tau's got nothing, bro. What do you want? What do you want? Look at this. This is awful. Lower lows. Sell, sell, sell. All right, that's all I got for this one. Give me a like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell me about your neighbor. Tell him about the stream. Nuanda, not only does he give the alpha, but he gives the donos as well. Thank you, Nuanda.